Nissan has brought me out to West Hollywood to preview some new products for you, and those are going to be under embargo. But what's not under embargo is this newly refreshed 2026 Infiniti QX60. And it's more important than ever for this vehicle to be refreshed, because Infiniti just has two models now in the lineup, this QX60 as well as the bigger brother, the QX80. Gone are the sedans, gone are the coupes. There are no EVs, there are no hybrids. But let's not forget the QX50 and 55. You still can probably buy those, but from what I understand, production is being paused, or maybe even orders being paused on that vehicle. So who knows what's going to happen to the QX50 and 55. But what's more important here is the QX60. So let's go ahead and get on the outside and go over all the new details. This is the autograph model, which of course is the top tier. But the paint color here is all new for the QX60. It is called, I believe it's called Deep Emerald. I think it's gorgeous. I love greens. There are not enough greens on the luxury market or even the mainstream market. And the QX60 looks fabulous. You can see the sparkle coming off. Now, as we transition to these headlights, they have been updated. Look at the crisscross pattern right here. And it's kind of like that digital piano that the QX80 brought in, that we have like a breakup of those daytime running lights. All right, now the grille looks so much different. Honestly, if I looked really quickly at it, I would think it's a QX80. We have the new Infiniti logo that kind of just like sucks into Infiniti. Like it's a 3D effect. It also has illumination, which obviously you're not going to see it right now, but at nighttime it would illuminate, which is quite fantastic. The grille design looks like it's pulled straight out of the QX80, which is a good thing because I love the looks of the QX80. The hood looks nice and strong. It blends well with the new grille design. We also have new wheel designs. Now standard throughout the lineup are 20-inch wheels. Previously on the base models you had 18-inch wheels, so that's a nice upgrade. We also have some newer accents, some darker accents here at the bottom. And I want to say the old QX8 or the QX60, most of them had bright shiny chrome around the windows. Here we have some real nice darkened accents here that look a lot more premium. All right, and you have the nice autograph sign right there, and of course the two-tone with the blacked out roof, the double shark fin antennas in the back look real nice. We come to the rear, the taillights look about the same. I'm not sure if they changed anything there, but we have the darkened Infiniti logo here. We're working with direct sunlight, but I think the camera's gonna do an okay job of picking that up. And we also have the QX60, and then that unique Japanese way of riding four-wheel drive, which gives it so much more character. I think I first saw this on the QX80. Full-size hitch receiver, and I remember a few years ago when my family was testing this back home, this thing essentially saved us because someone rear-ended us. It was a hit and run, and this thing soaked up all the damage. There was no damage on the car. The little car behind us, the little sedan or whatever it was, hit this, and we were protected. And Cassie's like sworn by the QX60 ever since because she feels safe in this vehicle. All right, but let's go and get under the hood, all right, of the QX60. Let's pop her open. VC turbo, 2-liter, 4-cylinder with 268 horsepower, 286 pound-feet of torque, made to the 9-speed ZF transmission. 4-wheel drive, of course, is standard on this autograph. You can get the lesser models in front-wheel drive. There's also a new sport trim that I didn't mention, and I don't have that here, but I know my good friend Sophie from Redline Reviews was able to do a walk around with that sport trim on the QX60. All right, let's go and try to close that again. I need to strong arm it. All right, no longer V6. V6 was discontinued for the 2024 model year, and we're gonna do an interior tour and then we'll get on the road to see what that 2-liter is like. Nice chimes there as I open up the lift gate. Aluminum scuff plates there, some hidden underfloor storage. You do the headrest and then you fold this down, and then you do the headrest, fold that down. All right, so you get an idea of the cargo capacity in here. It's a 3-row crossover. It's gonna be monstrous when the 3rd row is folded down in terms of cargo capacity. No surprise there. Let's go ahead and close this down and get on the inside. And how easy is it to access that 3rd row? Well, you could pass through. It's very similar to the Nissan Pathfinder. I believe this is removable. I remember removing it in the Pathfinder. I'm sure it's removable here. It's a little bit more fancy here, of course, than the Pathfinder brother to this vehicle. Now there's a little button back here that ejected the seat, which is going to make it a lot easier to get in the back of this QX60. QX60. Now keep in mind, the QX80 is also an additional 3-row option in the Infiniti lineup. I do have a beautiful air vent here. It's not that hot here in California right now, so don't need it, but I know in Florida we'd be taking advantage of it all day, every day. We have a USB-C here and 2 cup holders in the back. I like the window here. I can just imagine my daughters sitting in here in the back seat with this big window to help them possibly with car sickness, which they get quite often, but just to have that, you know, that extra light coming in is really nice. Speaking of extra light, we have this huge panel roof. It's not quite big enough to get to the 3rd row, but you know what, guys, the 3rd row headroom is fantastic. What about the leg room? Well, this seat could be slid back more. As you can see, I have okay leg room, but no foot room really. My feet have to be pressed together, and I have small feet, so not a lot of leg room. This seat back here really, even though it's nice, it's very comfortable, it feels really premium, it's really for small children if you are going to put someone back there. But they're equipped for road trips with the cup holders, the USB ports, and that nice air vent. In addition to the escape hatch button back here, you can also find it right there. Let's go and fold this middle seat back, close this door. Sounds really solid. We have sunshades back here, appreciate that, which is great for the little kiddos. A little light above. Again, another vent right here, which is great if you have a rear facing seat or just anyone in this seat. It'd be really fantastic to cool them down. Now, it might not pick it up very well, but there is a darkened wood right here, which feels really nice. The materials here are fantastic. Now, it is a lot because you have black wood, like a beige, and then a gray, but it does look pretty nice. And then this is new for the QX60, this Klipsch audio. 16 speakers, all new for the QX60. We've seen it on the QX80 previously. And just look at these quilted seats here on this autograph. They look really nice. How about we open this sunroof a little bit more so you can get an idea of the full breadth of it. All right, we do have this big portion here, but that does allow this front to slide back if you want it to. Legroom here, well, I could slide it. Actually, this is all the way back, so it's not that much, to be honest, but it is comfortable for an adult. Headroom's great. You do have 150 watts of power here, 2 USB-Cs, heated outboard seats on this autograph, as well as tri-zone climate control, mat pockets on each side, and these headrests are very new. Why do we have this in here? Well, I got a treat for you. Let's go and get in the front seat. I have child seat locked in the back. Hold on. Luckily, this door is not child seat locked. There we go. All right, into the front seat. Yes, we still have the massaging seats, and if my memory serves me correctly, it's just the middle portion. Let's go and close this real quick. More Klipsch audio. Oh yes, the treat. Check this out. We have stereo Klipsch speakers in the headrest. I can't wait to test it out, especially when I get it at home for a week review, throw the family in. Look at this material, this wood with the aluminum in it. Oh my gosh, it kind of matches the grille design or the headlight design with the striations. Oh, pretty cool. Anyways, I love the quilting on the dash, very, very premium. The vents are nice and high. We have new screens here, if I remember, or should I say new software in the screens. We now have Google built-in, which I believe is new for the QX60. Yeah, this looks like the QX80 software. Ah, there's massaging seats. Let me get back to that. Of course, the passenger is also massaging. Oh, these seats are so comfortable. And these seats are so comfortable, and it reminds me that Nissan is still one of the best in the game of making comfortable seats. Even right now in China, you can buy a Nissan car seat that is in one of their EV sedans, and you can buy it as a computer chair. Notice the autograph right there. I wish I could buy this as my computer chair. I'd be happy to do it. Nissan, bring that business to America. This is pretty touch capacitive here. Heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, rotary dials for the temperature control, auto here. It's really close to me. I like that. I don't have to reach for it. It comes towards the driver. It's quite nice. The shifter here is maybe the only thing in here that doesn't look that premium, and this knob you can tell is from an old Nissan generation of software and hardware. It still works with the screen though, and some people prefer to use this rotary dial. than to fumble around with the touchscreen, but the touchscreen is really close to me. 360 camera, you see that guy, that gentleman walking across. Look at the floor here. It's just mind-blowing. I wish I had this floor in my driveway back home. It's probably really expensive, obviously, but it would be very difficult to clean, but so is pavement. 12-inch screen behind here as well. This is definitely new, or seems new to me, this Infiniti logo. There we go, I reset the fuel economy and we'll be ready to start driving here in a little bit. We do have a digital rear view mirror in here as well. And this has ProPilot 2.1, which does allow for hands-free driving on freeways. Paddle shifters here, and that's why you have this eyeball sensor here to make sure you're paying attention while you can have hands-free driving on the freeways with the ProPilot 2.1. We also have a head-up display. I don't know if it'll show up on the screen for you guys, but a nice head-up display which has the Infiniti font, which I really appreciate, and you can turn it off with this button right here. And before we get driving, I forgot to mention there are 2 USB-Cs way under there in the darkness, and all felt lined, 2 rows of coin trays that are felt lined, and a 12-volt tucked away, covered in felt. I love that as a luxury vehicle. Auto brake hold, which is one of my favorite features in all cars, all modern cars. I love that. So when I come to a stop, I don't have to keep my foot on the brake, and then I'll tap the gas when I'm ready to go. All right, shall we drive the new 2026 Infiniti QX60? I think so. Driving in West Hollywood, the QX60, go figure, I'm stuck in traffic. And when I told my girls I was in West Hollywood, they asked me if I'm going to that certain pink pony club. And ironically, there is a Tennessee license plate in front of me where, anyways, I'll let you guys talk about Pink Pony Club in the comments. QX60, I've been driving it probably about 15 minutes and I got the gist of it by now. I'm very comfortable. QX60 is very, very comfortable. It always has been. It's pretty smooth overall. Now, the roads here in California, I mean, you know, lots of cracks, lots of potholes. They're not the worst roads, but they're far from the best roads, all right? As I get onto my brakes going downhill, the brake pedal, there's not much there for the first hit of the brake pedal, but it does come on smoothly and fairly progressively as you get further down. But I'm gonna pass here because this Tennessee, we'll see you later. We're in West Hollywood, Tennessee. The torque is great. I do enjoy the torque of this VC turbo. And the handling here is actually quite good, and we need to get onto the brakes. And again, I wish I had a little bit more initial response on that brake pedal. It's just a little bit too spongy with the initial hit of the brake pedal. But that torque, fairly instant torque's pretty good. Now, I will say this, if you want this thing to move, you really have to bury your foot. The engine, I don't know if it's been tuned for this, but they got rid of the V6 for emissions regulations. They put in this VC turbo, and the first 50% of the gas pedal is kind of a dead zone. It doesn't respond to the initial input unless your foot is really heavily into that gas pedal. Almost kind of how like the brakes are too. All right, but the brakes, yeah, the brakes and the gas pedal are very, very, you know, numb with the initial response. I would say the steering's also very numb. It handles well. It feels like it has pretty good grip, but you just don't really feel like you have a connection to those wheels in front of you. Okay, the Civic getting on the brakes. But now we have some nice road here, and it's really quiet. And that's something the QX60's always been really good at. Being quiet, being smooth. Like I mentioned, these seats are very comfortable. My elbows are comfortable digging into the armrests. I would say it's a good luxury car, but there's no sort of performance here from the handling to the braking. Well, I should say to the steering feel, because the handling was better than I was expecting. But the steering feel is numb, the brake feeling's numb, and the engine, well, it just died because I'm at a stop. As start-stop engine technology, I can override that with this button. And it is actually, when that engine turns back on, you barely notice it. Okay, there's a little shake in the car, but it doesn't rattle the whole car or startle you or wake you up at the wheel if you fell asleep driving it. Infiniti's always had great looks. The QX60 now with a more updated design, honestly, I don't think it really needed an updated design, but I'll take it. Anything new for Infiniti is super important right now because the brand is a shadow of its former self. Its sales volume is a fraction of what it used to be. Its product lineup is a fraction of what it used to be. Really just two models right now, the QX80 and QX60. So I'm happy it has these updated software updates with the Google built-in, ProPilot, hands-free driving in certain circumstances, updated styling, this Klipsch audio, which I'm not going to get a chance really to test too much today. I'll have to wait till I'm at home. The head-up display is fantastic here. It shows me when I need to turn, shows me the road I'm on, the road I need to turn on. It's really, really impressive, the head-up display. And the engine is idling here, because the engine is on because the air conditioning is running. It is shaky in the car. I don't feel it through the floor or the pedals, but I feel it through my seat, which is kind of surprising. Typically, I don't notice engine vibrations through a seat as much as the pedals. A little bit through the steering wheel as well, but I don't feel it through the floor at all, or the pedals. So a little bit through the steering wheel and through the seat was the vibrations of this 4-cylinder, which is not nearly as smooth at idle compared to the V6. I will say that. But in operation, like low throttle application, it is very, very smooth, and I will give the QX60 that. And do I miss the V6? The answer is absolutely. I would rather have this with the V6. The V6 that you can find in the brother to this in the Pathfinder, it's still in the Pathfinder, and this went mainly because of emissions regulations, had to go to the 2-liter VC turbo. It gained torque, lost top end, lost overall smoothness, and it doesn't sound as good, which it's just sad because the QX60 was so complete. I would say is just a traditional old school luxury crossover, and now it just doesn't have that same feel to it. It is so quiet though, I will give it this, so quiet under mild acceleration, low acceleration. It's really, really impressive there. And I don't want to go that way. Looks like there's some traffic, so let's go ahead and pull off this way when we get a chance. So here we go, we got straightaway. Yeah, it does kind of like to rev, but not the V6. And this is the best stretch of road I've had since driving this, so I do appreciate it. It's where it shines the best. All right, you just feel like you're on a cloud, like an old luxury car. But yeah, the QX60 has always looked good. Now it looks just more modern, and it just doesn't feel as refined, at least from the powertrain perspective, but everything else about it's really good if you just want to be comfortable and to look really good, because the QX60 does still look good. It's comfortable, it's smooth. Fuel economy, who knows? I mean, I reset the fuel economy when I started this, but it's probably, just been city here. So city driving, I'm getting 14 miles a gallon. You're not going to be getting better fuel economy with this 4-cylinder versus the V6. So it's essentially negligible. But it looks like we got a steep hill here. I do see little kids though, so I'm not gonna like fly up this hill. But I am curious to see how this engine's gonna do. Yeah, it's still a bit like laggy, almost like the CVT variant of this, or should I say in some instances you have a CVT with this VC turbo and like the QX50. This still has aspects of it that is laggy. And I think it's programmed that way, maybe for emissions regulations, or maybe there's just like turbo lag. I don't know. It's just not very, like it'll downshift and then it still feels like once it grabs a gear, you're still waiting sometimes. Like pedal down. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I think some people are going to they'll never care that there's a 4-cylinder in here. This vehicle is really not for people who want the best driving experience from like someone who enjoys driving a Mini because they handle like it's a go-kart. All right, this is the complete opposite. This is just smooth, comfortable, looks good, and I have all the features I could want, really. I have all the features I want, but it's not anywhere close to an enthusiast vehicle. If you want that, save your pennies for the QX80 and the twin turbo V6, which is just so good, so satisfying, so punchy, so powerful. Let me know if you think the QX60 is an excellent luxury option against something like the Lexus TX or the Acura MDX, the two closest competitors from the Japanese end, or the GV80 even from Genesis from the Korean end. All right, let me know. Ooh, I kind of have to go here because I'm in the middle of the intersection. Evan was turning right there. Oh, Kansas City fan out here in California. That's kind of rare. Chiefs fan. What's tough for me is if I was in the luxury market and this was an option, you know, I don't know if I could, unless it was a crazy deal, I don't know if I could pick it over something like a GV80 or a Lexus TX or even an Acura MDX. Maybe. I might pick it over an MDX, but that still has a V6, and I'm kind of partial to V6s, as you guys have found out by now. Let me know in what order. Let's just talk about the Asian luxury cars. Let me know what order you would pick the QX60 in, with a TX, an MDX, or a GV80. I think it'd be a third or fourth for me. I think it'd be third. I like the MDX Type S, but the V6 MDX, like it doesn't do it for me. Should I say the naturally aspirated V6 MDX doesn't do it for me. It's pretty rough. All right, this is definitely a smoother ride than that. It's definitely more traditional luxury, and it is very comfortable and it looks hot. So I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and if you made it this far, I would appreciate a like button hit and the good old subscribe for more content. I got more Infiniti content coming. I'm under embargo, so I can't share it, but definitely subscribe so you can be notified when my new Infiniti and Nissan coverage drops. Thank you for watching. Be safe out there, and peace. I really appreciate that this has paddle shifters because I just held second gear going downhill for a long time, and it kept second gear the entire time until I picked up too much speed. I just tried to get into second gear there from third gear, and it was revving too high, so I'm glad it didn't let me destroy the engine by doing that. But back to second gear here, and I don't have to use my brakes as much, all right? So I like how sticky it is going downhill. I don't know if they've programmed it like that, or maybe just the manual mode in here really likes to stick to a particular gear, or maybe the car knows I'm going downhill. But in most cars, when you're going downhill, even if you're using paddle shifters, it'll quickly go into the next gear, and you're constantly fumbling with the paddle shifters and the gear select. Not here in the QX60. Now, is it a pleasant sound? No, but what's more pleasant than that is me not having to work the brake pedal the whole way down this mountain.